Hi, everyone. Sorry for the delay, but I'm here now and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to give it a couple seconds for people to start logging on. Welcome to day one evening message. I'm Robin Shea. I'm not sure where to look. There I am. And this is Before the Fork, the 28-day experience. So hopefully you were able to digest some of the book content today and you got an opportunity to look through the handouts. We're going to be touching on a few of those things, but our main goal for tonight is to go over action steps for right now, creating your why story. Hi, Dina. So glad you're here. And also, I want to go over your journal pages because your journaling is going to start tonight. Okay, so I do want to go over that. And we have AM and PM journaling, and we'll go over all of those details. So let me just wait. I'm on. Let's see. It's just now turned 7:30. Also wanted to mention, and one of you out there may know the answer to this. I did the last video off my phone, and it blew my face up. I was just a big old head on the screen. At least when I looked at it, that's what I saw. So every time, like the still frame of it was perfectly fine. I was back in my chair and you could see the background behind me. But then when I clicked on it to play, to view it, it zoomed in on me. It went vertical and it was like right here in my face. So tonight I'm doing it from my computer. And hopefully when I download this so that I can move it over to YouTube, hopefully it will maintain this scale. It'll be the nice big scale, the nice big whatever box rather than just my head. So anyway, if anybody has any tips on how to get that to work better, I know that when I had the course last time, my computer wasn't as proficient in creating the videos as my phone was. But now I'm seeing that Facebook has integrated a lot of other features into their video platform. So anyway, we're going to try to do it from my computer tonight. Okay, so this is where I want to get started. If you have your book or you have your download, I want you to turn to page, and you don't have to follow me along. I just want you to know where I am. So should you want to follow along, that's where I am. And the first thing that I want to cover tonight is the day 1 through 3. And this is basically what we need to do to proof our homes so that when we launch into the nutritional platform on day 4, you are supported in your home environment to the best of your ability. So we have some action steps that I want you to take. You're your only advocate in this process. I'm here to support you. Everyone on the page, everyone in the group is here to support you. But at the end of the day, it falls on you. You have to safeguard your environment. If you fail to safeguard your environment, there's going to be times that you are depleted, your neurotransmitters are just depleted. And I love to give this visual, especially to moms, because they can really relate. You know, when you have a little toddler and they've missed a nap and they're so incredibly disagreeable. So you can, ask them to do the silliest little task and they have a complete and utter and total meltdown. Well, they're not little monsters. Their coping hormones are depleted. And the only time that your hormones replenish themselves is when you're resting. So you lay that child down for a nap. When he wakes up from a nap, completely different little person, because he had an opportunity, or the child had an opportunity to re-up those hormones that help stabilize their moods. We are no different. So we're going to be asking so much of our prefrontal cortex. We'll get more into that later, but we are going to be asking so much of our mind, of our brain, that is typically not being exercised. It is as depleting as running a daily marathon. I'm going to be asking you to go from maybe 15% utilization of your prefrontal cortex in your daily chores to 80% utilization. That is huge. So just you think about college students, or you think about children learning. When they're in an environment, they're forced to engage their thinking brain, the thing that separates us from the animals. It is incredibly depleting. So if you safeguard your environment, you are so ahead of the game. So these are the action steps to safeguard your environment. We have someone else. Hi, Lauren. So glad that you're here joining us. Okay, so the goal, what I've written here is, below I've provided you with a checklist. The goal is to go over your checklist and make sure you have everything in place to launch into your new chosen weight loss and fitness program. And in this case, we are introducing the 80-20 lifestyle for the nutritional platform. So some action steps. Safeguard your home environment by cleaning out your pantry, refrigerator. Be thorough, be complete. So this is we have 72 hours before we launch into the nutritional platform. So you have, well, roughly 72 hours. You have 2.5 days left to safeguard your home. So go through your refrigerator. I lean a lot into Dr. Brian Wensick, and simply because he is a very highly intellectual professor at Cornell University. He works in the food and brand lab. And so I pull a lot of the little tips and tools from his work. He also has a really great website. You know what? I'll have to find the website. I'll give a link, and you can pull up some of his information. I wish that his work would have caught on more, but it's really very stale. It's very textbook oriented. It doesn't factor in a lot of emotion. It factors in a lot of habitual responses. Our transformation is going to be tethered to joyful change. So I think that although what he has done, his work is brilliant, it's not something that the average person is going to be drawn to, really, because it is quite boring and quite compulsory. It's just, nothing that makes you, want to put down and read it. But anyway, a lot of his work you'll see in the tips, tools, and techniques of safeguarding your environment. So in my home, and I'll show you this on another video, I have a snack tower that sits in the corner of my kitchen. That is where every approved clean snack goes. It goes on that snack tower. It's a quick glance. It gets me out of the pantry. You don't want to be rummaging through your pantry for food. It gets you out of the pantry. At a quick glance, you can see what you're low on, what you need to replenish. You can put bottles of water down on the bottom, but I highly recommend getting your snacks out of the pantry setting and into your visual setting. So a countertop, a couple baskets on your countertop. We'll go over, bars that are approved, fruits, nuts, those type of things that you can keep in there. And I tell you what, if you have children, my children, that's the only place they go for snacks. I've had that snack tower now for about 10 years. My children don't even step foot in my pantry. They look at the snack tower and they immediately know those are the snacks that I'm good to go. They can eat anything on that snack tower. So that's been a very, very helpful tool for me. Let's see. We need to, what is this one? The family, ideally, okay. In a perfect world, you're going to be carrying everyone with you through this journey if you're a mom or you're a provider, a caregiver of a home. If you're just doing it for yourself this first time, that's brilliant and wonderful. But I would love to see it filter through your family. And I would love to see you start teaching your children all of the wonderful skills that you're going to learn through the 80-20 lifestyle. I also want you to start looking at your schedule. Okay. If you are someone that does not exercise, then you need to really, oh, hi, Michelle. I'm so glad you're here. If you're someone that doesn't exercise, it's just never been something that you factored into your time or factored into your life or made the time for. Um, Once we go over what I define as exercise, I want you to start looking at your schedule. Carve out 40 minutes, 30 minutes. Do the best you can to start safeguarding a block of time for yourself so that you can go for a walk, you can do some light yoga, you can start with some stretches. We're going to go more into detail about how I define exercise a little bit differently than your hardcore exercise people. And I think it's really because I've been exercising for my entire adult life since I was 17 years old. Exercise has been part of my life, and it has looked different for every phase of my life. And I think it was my fluid approach to fitness that allowed me to stick with it. Had I been someone that had all my eggs in one fitness basket and something shifted in my life and I lost that and I had nothing else to fall back on because I was too rigid, then you've lost such a wonderful blessing. So in the fitness chapter, in that particular pillar, pay special attention to a redefinition of fitness so that you can make it work in your life. Okay, grocery shopping 101. Tomorrow I'm going to take you with me to the grocery store. So we're going to do a live, well, I shouldn't really say live because it might have sketchy service in the grocery store. So I might record that and then I'll come back and post it up and let y'all know. But it's going to be, so tomorrow will be 3 videos. When you learn to grocery shop and you learn how to be discerning about your clean foods, how not to be tricked, what to look for, what not to look for, all of that I'm going to teach you, and we're going to go over step by step. You know, you look at the back of labels and there's words this big, and you think you need to know the meaning of those words. I come from the school of if you don't recognize the word, you don't need to be eating it, period. So use that as your process of elimination rather than saying, you know, this diphenhydrochloramine, is this something that I would find in nature? Is this something that grows out of the ground or is an animal product or an animal itself? Then it's not on my clean eating list. So I eliminate foods a little bit differently than in other diets because I really, when I was going through this 15 years ago, I had to dumb it down as best I could. So my 5 ingredient rule rules the day when it comes to your clean food choices. Okay, rest and hydration. I touched on this briefly, and it goes back to your ability to cope with the stress that you're getting ready to put on yourself emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You're going to be asking something of yourself that you may have never asked before. So I really want to stress the importance of rest. That is your only that is the only time the body heals and repairs and replenishes. So resting, watching television isn't resting. Resting with your eyes closed, letting your body shift into the parasympathetic nervous system so that it can do the repair and the restoration that is going to be necessary to carry you through the next phases of the diet. Okay, so now we've gone over just a few tips. Now I want you, if you have your book with you, I want you to flip to page 54. And we're going to talk real briefly. Let's see, we're at 14 minutes. I'm going to try my darndest not to go over 24 minutes. And then moving forward, except for special events like the grocery store, I'm going to try very, very hard to keep the videos under 10 minutes. Y'all don't need to hear me blather, you know, that long. So this may be a little bit longer tonight, but I'm going to try to stay right at about 24 minutes, okay? So this is about creating your why story. This is chapter 6, creating your why story. And like I said, I've rewritten this chapter and I did get that final copy today. So I'm going to be putting it up in the downloads. And you can go back and revisit the chapter 6 and read about the why story. Guys, you have to understand about your why story that it is the fuel that is going to pull you through changes. Uh-oh, let me shut this door. Hey guys. Hey, I'm making a video. I'll be right. Oh, you're going to see Rowdy. Okay. Oh, you're sore? Yay! Sorry about that. Your why story, it's everything. It's your vehicle. It's your transportation. It's what's going to pull you through this transformation process. When I collapsed on the floor of my hall over 15 years ago, and I just laid there in a puddle thinking, how am I going to rebuild my life? The vision that I had for my future was one of an elderly person in their 70s, healthy, fit, capable, doing, living, being. And when I captured that vision and I saw my grandchildren, remember at the time I had a 9-year-old, 5-year-old, 4-year-old, 1-year-old, in that neighborhood. So grandbabies were not even, part of the equation, but God delivered to me this vision of these beautiful children that were going to be in my life one day. And I wanted to be there, to be part of their life. I wanted them to know the best of me. I wanted to be a representation of what a healthful life, an honoring life, a life that is worthy of the gift that it is to us. I wanted those children, the children that are going to be in my life. I have one little grandson now, and I wanted them to be proud of the grandmother that I am going to become. And so that my why story became them. So if you'll look right here, we have 5 questions that are going to help you create your own why story. And you're going to have to do this multiple times. You're going to have to write out, answer these questions, go through the exercises, build your why story. And if it's not potent enough, if it doesn't make your heart flutter, and if it doesn't make butterflies in your stomach start moving, and if you can't feel it pulling you, it's the wrong story. Okay? Go back and create another vision. Go back, create another story until you land on the story that is so omnipotent that it's all you will ever need in a time of weakness. You can close your eyes. When I teach you to do the visualization exercises, you can close your eyes, go to that place in your mind that's the future that you're building for yourself, and all of the temptation melts away because you're so committed to where you're going. Okay? And also realize that why story, it can change and it can morph in different phases of your life for different meanings, for different purposes, for different reasons. So just whatever you're building now, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't lock in so hard. It's just like fitness. Be water. Be flexible. Reinforce that story, but also recreate that story if it's not serving you. Life changes. Life happens. So don't box yourself in to one paradigm, one way of looking at things. Be open. But this is really a chapter that y'all need to pay special attention to. I'll get that other PDF loaded up tonight so y'all can read the additions that I've made to this chapter. So the questions that you're going to be asking yourself is, okay, who are you? And, that's kind of a poetic question, I guess, but we want to explore, who are you? What do you love to do to serve your health and fitness? So that's something you have to think about. And if you love nothing, then we've got to start exploring that idea. We have to look at the dark side of living like you're living. What does the dark side look like? We don't want to live there, but we want that. One thing that you'll hear me talk about a lot is contrast, and we want that contrast. So we want to know the best of the best and the worst of the worst. And in that contrast, we the contrast serves us. It serves us so much. Everything we do is born out of contrast. So we want to embrace the contrast in our life. So you want to do a worst case scenario, best case scenario in your mind and start playing with those ideas. Okay, why do you do what you do? What do you want or need from this thing? And how will you change as a result? Now, those sounded all very vague as we're just kind of running over them, but read the chapter. And if you have any questions or any struggles creating your why story, message me, post them up here. If you're struggling with, putting it together, let's talk about it. Let me help you add depth to your why story so that it has all the potency that it needs to have to pull you through the challenges. And finally, we're going to turn to page 152. This is day 1, phase 1. That's where we are today. And these are the journal pages. Every journal page has the mantra or the daily blessing. And I would love for y'all to get in the habit of embodying those words. Know that this is a joyful journey. And the second that it's not a joyful journey is when we have to work on pillar number 1, which we're going to talk about tomorrow, happiness. Okay, so it all has the mantra. The second, or every day has a little bit of a reading. So today's reading is C to the power of 3 equals F times T. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all read that for yourself. It's a little formula that I came up with that really helped me understand what was necessary for change to happen. And change to the power of 3 equals F times T is the formula that I came up with. So that's kind of some fun reading if you want to dig into that. But in the remaining 3 minutes, I don't want to not keep my word and be any longer than 25 minutes. So let's go through this quickly. Okay, we have our journal pages. On the top of the journal pages, one page has a sun, one page has a moon. So you have a morning journaling opportunity and an evening journaling opportunity. We want to talk about in the morning our catalyst goals. Those are our shooting star goals. Go to chapter, what chapter is it? Hang on, we're going to figure this out. Well, it's section 2. Chapter 8. Section 2, chapter 8. And this will teach you all about journaling. So when you're hearing these phrases like shooting star goals, catalyst goals, performance or process performance visualization, all of these terms can be found in that chapter. So go through that, read through that, ask me questions about it. Projected visualization, what you need to do here, expectations and custom goal setting. So all of these have a place. There's a reason we have catalyst goals. There's a reason we have process and performance visualization techniques. There's a reason we do projected visualization. All of these are, they integrate parts of your mind that are necessary to move through this process. You're being supported. Catalyst goals, they're like high school reunions, weddings, events where you're going to see people you haven't seen in a while, whatever, maybe a 5K, a 10K, they're events. They put like jet fuel underneath you. And I call them shooting star goals because they blast off and then they fade very quickly. So if you're building your transformation on simply a catalyst goal, I can almost guarantee you that once that date is reached, you're done. and you will go right back to where you were before. So by building in these other supporting systems, you can keep setting different catalyst goals time after time after time for fun. But in the interim, in between, you have other things that are keeping you going and moving towards your vision. Okay. Now, in the evening, it's very, very important that you do this in the evening. We have a reflection. So, event, stumble, tool. That's what we're doing. We are training our mind to isolate the event that led up to the stumble, identify the stumble, and then create a tool that is going to help you the next time you encounter that obstacle. Okay? This is all part of moving from the side of our mind that sees problems to the side of our mind that finds solutions. So it's just a shift in thinking. We don't condemn ourselves for stumbles. We recognize the stumble. With each stumble is an opportunity. But that stumble, that opportunity is lost if you start beating yourself up, you start cursing out the stumble, you start feeling like a loser. All of those type of things that are very natural create hormones in our mind that further sabotage us. So we're going to break the habit of doing that. A stumble is just an opportunity to create a tool for you to put in your toolbox should you face that again. Okay, happiness victories. We're going to learn to start tracking our happiness. Start tracking when you are on a low vibration emotion, an emotion that is not serving you, and you pull yourself out of that emotion. You climb out of that emotion. So we're going to learn to look for opportunities to celebrate harnessing your own power of emotion and learning to pull yourself up that happiness ladder. We're going to talk about our nutrition, or you're just going to check a box. You know, this is a very simple thing. Are you honoring your plan, or are you not honoring your plan? Very simple. It's very black and white. Did you honor your plan today, or did you not honor your plan today? Did you honor your fitness? Did you not honor your fitness? Again, very simple. Support. I am receiving support. I am giving support. That's very important because, like I said earlier, support is it's a cycle. There's parts of a support system. At this point, you just need to be receiving support. So don't worry about giving back right now. As we move through the course, you'll start learning to give back. Also, it's really great because we have a lot of old students in this course too, and they're going to be giving back to you through the course, their knowledge, their wisdom. So they're going to be completing their circle of support. And let's see. Okay, just a little bit more about your support system. It's important that you identify them, you keep them close, and you know who they are, and what to look for in a support system. Are they safe? Are they empathetic? And are they solution focused? So those are your daily journal pages. We've gone over the 3 things that I wanted to talk about tonight. Your action steps, start prepping your home, creating your why story, and your journal pages. So go ahead and journal tonight. Take the time and do a little journaling tonight. Get ready. I'll be back with you first thing in the morning. And tomorrow we're going to focus on, what are we going to focus on tomorrow? We're going to talk about our first pillar, which is happiness. And just some other things I have up my sleeve for you. We're going to go into a little bit more detail about preparing for the 80-20 lifestyle. And I want to make sure that you have all of your handouts. And then I want to start hearing from y'all. Oh no, Michael Ann. Okay, Michael Ann just said I'm barely audible. Okay, damn. Well, is anyone else having that trouble? We'll just have to see. I'll go back and listen to this. Like I said, they're throwing little kinks at me. You know, I'm not sure what to do. I'll just keep hanging in there doing my best. Okay, Dina says her sound is fine. Thank goodness. Michael Ann, do you have your volume up? Oh, you have your volume up all the way? Huh. I don't know, honey. I'm sorry. Just try to troubleshoot it the best you can. I don't know what to tell you. anyone else wants to pipe up about how they're being able to hear this or not. So before we wrap, of course, I went over. It's 30 minutes. So sorry. Does anyone have any questions for me? Go ahead and write them. I'll be monitoring the page tonight. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to jump back on and answer those questions tonight. Okay, if we're all good, then I'm going to wrap up for now. Oh, wait, we do have a question. Okay, Michael Ann says she's going to try to get it figured out. I hope you can. I don't know what to tell you. This visual seems to be better than it was on my phone. So I'll just have to go back and play with this a little bit until we get it perfected. So, all right, I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Again, the videos are going to be much shorter. This is just kind of the lengthy part of the process, getting us into the rhythm of meeting up every day, twice a day, and what you can expect. So read the book. Remember, I gave you those pages to read. Stick with the book because the course is going to mimic the book. Ask me any question that you may have about any of the content in the book, and I'm happy to go over it with you right here on the page. Okay, y'all have a super blessed night, and I will see you tomorrow morning.